Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever in the world you find yourself. So today we are going to cover CRO, which of course rebranded to Kronos quite a while ago, used to be known as crypto.com, currently in 23rd place on CoinMarketCap. Kronos has a long history, and of course, like all the other cryptocurrencies, we are in a big downtrend. However, there is this interesting signal that we're seeing on the weekly chart, which we saw on Ethereum in 2018, which marked the bottom of the Ethereum market. So stick around until the end of the video to find out what that signal is and why that means that we might actually be bottoming out in this bear market. Now, for those of you who don't know, Altcoin Buzz is first and foremost a crypto investment research company, and we have been providing you numerous 100x returns since 2017. So if you want to get in on that action, join our Altcoin Buzz Access group, where we document up-to-date research covering undervalued altcoin gems, NFT minting opportunities, and our portfolio strategies. So click the link up above to take part in the action, or in the pinned comment section down below. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future updates. And finally, please note that none of this is financial advice. Okay, so before I tell you about this weekly signal, I just want to give you a brief overview of the cryptocurrency market. So we currently have a $950 billion market capitalization, of which 41% represents Bitcoin. Now, although Bitcoins and altcoins have been falling in value, Tether, of course, and all stable coins in general have been increasing in value. So Tether dominance is the real dominant chart because, of course, a lot of people during this bear market have sold to stable coins. Now, in some ways, this is not great because obviously altcoins and Bitcoin are going down in value, but at the very least, a lot of the money is now staying in the cryptocurrency market in the form of stable coins. And of course, this generally makes it easier to purchase cryptocurrencies. So there's obviously pros and cons to stable coins increasing in dominance. And as mentioned, Bitcoin represents about just under $400 million worth in the market, about 380. And the rest of the cryptocurrency market is represented by this graph. This is the total 2 graph. That's the whole cryptocurrency market, excluding Bitcoin. And it's worthy to note that we have also a previous high here at this 422 billion mark, from which we have already found support. So again, another sign that the altcoin market might have finally finished its bleeding. All right, now to CRO. We're going to first of all look at CRO BTC, because there is also a very notable support which we may reach over the coming weeks. So I just want to make you aware of it. And that is this 413 SAT level. So we've seen this big retracement, and this 413 SAT level represents previous resistance, but also the 887 correction, the Fibonacci retracement of this move up. So yes, there is still potential for us to go down, but I think if we reach this level, it will be a very notable level to be watching out for. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to tell you about this weekly signal. There's also another thing on the weekly chart, which is very important that you need to be watching out for. And that, of course, is this inside bar, okay? So when we have an inside bar, it means that there's indecision within the previous candle's range. So this green bar is the inside bar of the mother bar that precedes it. And what this means is that if we break to the upside, we're likely to see more upward price momentum. And similarly, if we break to the downside, we're likely to see more downwards price momentum. So that means that the high of this candle and the low of this candle are important levels to be watching. So let's make sure these are visible on all the time frames, the day and the hour. Yes, they are. And now let's go down to the daily and the 4-hour time frames. Let's start by the 4-hour time frame to look at potential supports. And then I'm going to show you the weekly indicator that you need to be watching out for. Okay, so first of all, on the 4-hour, as mentioned, this 0.1099 level doesn't look super relevant here, but as I mentioned on the weekly chart, it's very relevant, and it's really important to zoom out because a lot of the bigger investors are looking only at the daily and the weekly chart. So when you're trading and you're trying to look for entries, it's very important to start there. So as I said, the 0.1099 level is a relevant support. And on the 4-hour, we can see here that we broke the previous support, which was more or less the 0.123 level. So now we are in a downtrend on the 4-hour. And let's have a look at our VRVP, the volume profile. Here we can see with the volume profile that there's also potential for support above this 0.1099 level. So we're going to draw our support line just at the previous 4-hour low, the 0.119 level. So again, these two levels are very important to hold for us to maintain an uptrend on the daily time frame. So going to the daily time frame here, you can see the relevance of this $0.119 level. And then finally, of course, the final support is down here at the $0.0986 level. When it comes to resistances, we have the first one being the previous 4-hour high at the 0.1276. The next one being the previous weekly high, or actually the previous daily high at the 0.1334. But as mentioned, this is an important level on the weekly time frame because it's the top of the inside bar. And then, as with many other cryptocurrency charts, there is a liquidity gap thereafter. And that is what makes now an important time to be looking at the market, because if we break these couple of important resistances, not just on CRO, but also on Polkadot, Cosmos, and a few others, we are likely to see a very notable move up, because the next major resistance is very far above. The most rational level is probably here at the 0.1676. So you can see there's a big liquidity gap between the second and third resistance. We could easily see a 25% move up if we break through this second resistance. So to sum it up, the support levels are the 0.119, the 0.1099, and the $0.0986 levels. And the resistance levels are the 0.1276, the 0.1334, and the $0.1676 levels. Now, finally, I'm going to show you on the weekly chart what is the important indicator you need to be watching, and that is, of course, the histogram over here. Note how on the histogram we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 histogram bars of decreasing value. Now, this is actually a good sign. These histogram bars are calculated by the MACD line minus the signal line. And the MACD line is this blue line and the signal line is this orange line. Now, when the blue line crosses the orange line, as it did over here in August 2021, you see the MACD turns green, it turns positive. But the MACD histogram, these bars over here, also represent the difference between the MACD and its 9-day moving average, or the signal line. And if this difference is decreasing, then of course in this scenario it means that the MACD comes closer to the zero, and usually if this happens, the price will start going up. However, in our instance, we are seeing that over the past several weeks, actually I have to zoom out here to show you, the price has been going down over these past 5 weeks, despite the fact that the histogram is going up. Now, a great example of this is on Ethereum. Back in 2018, again, we saw the histogram very steadily declining in value. Consistently, the MACD line was coming closer to the signal line. And what was happening to the price? The price was also declining in value. But then, of course, what happened? That marked the absolute bottom of the bear market. And interestingly, when we saw a crossover on the MACD line, that was a very, very powerful signal that we were entering a new bull market. And that was not only was that the bottom, but that marked the beginning of the new uptrend for Ethereum when we had this bullish crossover. So if you're looking at long-term trends, this is definitely the indicator to be watching out for. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I made a couple other videos this week on Polkadot and Cosmos. Feel free to check those out. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.